Jacob.
Big ups to you and you and you. How are you doing? Happy Friday, everybody. November the 3rd. Hope you're feeling too blessed to be stressed. I know indeedy I am, but how are you? Welcome in episode number 86 of the Untitled series. I hope you are doing well. I am. I got a debutant of sorts. He's a good friend of the channel. I support him immensely. He is a Chelsea fan. But I got a lot of love for the guy. He's a human being first and foremost, and secondly, he's also a content creator. Now, if you don't know him, you're about to get to know him. If you do know him, shout out H Talks. His channel is in the description of his video. So if you are watching this live or on playback, I highly suggest, and I would motivate you to do, go ahead and click that link. It's blue, very hard to miss. Click it, go to his channel, subscribe to the guy. He's a new content creator out there. He's got some good content. So go ahead and subscribe, support a good person first and foremost, regardless of where his affiliations may lie. Because look, plenty of Chelsea people tune in here, plenty of Arsenal people, Liverpool, etc. The like. We all love the same beautiful, beautiful sport. So one time for the one time, hit a like on this video as well. Don't forget to do that and participate in the poll. The question today is, what do you think about Pochettino's quotes about Tottenham? And I'm going to ask my guest because I'm sure he's got some feelings about it. But 69% nice, first and foremost, says he still loves Spurs, and it's obvious, is what 69% of you say. And then 14% says it's a simple PR stunt, is all, nothing more. 10% says he's waffling either way you feel, and 7% there says he's brown-nosing Spurs for the love. He doesn't want to get booed. He doesn't want to get the cans thrown at him, but I don't think we'd throw cans anyway. But regardless, how's everybody doing? We don't have too long today. Now, I was a little bit earlier on TJ Warren TV. I was doing a little bit of preview there. We'll be here for about an hour, and then I got to go on over to another channel that I will redirect to as well. So you can still find me. I'll just be moving around much like a frog on a lily pad in a large pond that's full of a lot of lily pads. I don't know where I was going with that, but you know what to do. Hit the like if you haven't already. I'm going to bring on the guest. I'm going to say what's up to the chat, but first and foremost, two first place prizes for Rich. One, for being the first YouTube chat member in the chat, and two, for being the first person in general to chat in the chat. Says, I feel Chelsea can get relegated. Hey, we can all feel how we want to feel. That is all acceptable here at United Spurs of America. But before I go any further, let me bring on the guest. Without further ado, let's welcome on H Talks Chelsea. How are we doing, H?
All good, Jacob. Big up for having me on, yeah. Big up everyone in the chat, in the building. Obviously, smash the likes. I know most of your chat are most probably Tottenham. Yeah, obviously. But look, banter aside, man. Big up for having me on, man. It should be a good one. Do you know what I'm saying? Big game Monday, man. Big game. Big game.
That's one of those matches that whenever they release the schedule, you're like, I'm going to look forward to that. I want to make sure that I know exactly when and when. And then they actually moved it. So it was supposed to be today, technically. Yeah. And then they moved it to Monday. Interesting that. The schedule's been kind of funny this Premier League season so far. But
they've changed it about a couple of times.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? But... Hey, big up to Alan. Big up Leo with Mile High Hotspur. Adrian Schrock is in the house. Nate, big up Nate. Says, morning crew, about to have my Saturday morning coffee. Start making a cape Malay chicken curry and listening to Jacob talking nicely. Big up all. Big up Nate. Good to see you here. Chris Peters, how you doing? Says, evening Jacob and chat. Big up and big love to everyone. Big up Chris Peters. Paul Brown's in the house. The special one, Big Al. Good to see you in the house again. Says, big up Jacob, long time. Also, Oots, I know what it stands for, but I ain't gonna. You could say it if you want, Age.
Stop the chill.
He says, can't wait for Monday's game against the Spurs. I know you typoed there. You didn't mean to say potatoes, but big up the special one out nonetheless. All banter's welcome here. It's always a good time. Big up Cursor as well, my dog Cursor. I did invite him to come on the show as well. He's with the family, so family number one first and foremost. Big up Cursor the GOAT as well. Big up Donovan in the house. Hope you're doing well. Chelsea Blue and Blues hitting the like. So if you're a Spurs fan, Chelsea fan, Shirley, but don't call me Shirley, you can hit the like. Spurs Psych is in the house. Says, evening, Jacob. Todd Spurs is here. How you doing, Todd Spurs? Tracy MUFC says, big up, Jacob. Good afternoon to you from Australia. I think it's afternoon. It is just past 4 in the afternoon here in America. And good morning to you in Australia. I hope you have a caffeinated beverage and are doing well. Big up Milton Nobrega as well. Ben Kaufman, can we get a little USA? USA. Hey, big up Ben Kaufman. Some big ups to H Talks as well. David Shears says, good day, Jacob. Loving the content. Come on, you Spurs. 2-1. All right. With the score prediction already. H, I'm not going to get yours just yet. I'm going to have you save it just for a little bit. Yeah. I'm first YouTube member, first Patreon member, and moderator. Maybe other than I don't know. But you're still on the Patreon. I know that much, Ben. So, you always come in first. Don't you forget that, Ben. But big up Ben Kaufman every single time. Jazz Fusion's here. Big up Jazz Fusion. Big up Ellie says, hey, Jacob, fresh off Gunnar TJ's stream. I'm too blessed to be stressed, and I'm too Greek to be a freak. Hey, big up. Talk to me nicely, Ellie. Love to see it. One of our own, Queen Ellie's in the house. She's technically the Queen of North London. She used to play for Spurs women back in the day, and she's just such a damn great person. Yeah, she did back in the day. So big up to her every single time. Big up Ellie. And some love to H. Big up H and D. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let me just start by asking, how are you feeling about Chelsea thus far in the season? Take the match coming up out of it real quick. How are you feeling? Obviously, Pochettino, you've welcomed him to the club. Y'all spent X amount of money. I'm not even going to pretend to be an accountant here. But you spent some money. You've gotten some players. You've got a new coach. And look, I think I was a little concerned. Y'all had 3 consecutive wins. I was thinking, okay, they're going to start turning a page here with Poch.
Yeah.
And I got a little worried. And then you took an L, and that's okay. We sometimes trip and stumble on our way up the stairs. But how are you feeling about Chelsea thus far in the season?
I'll be real with you. I'm not happy so far. I really ain't, because, as you say, we went on a 3 winning game streak. But who was that against? Like Luton, Brighton in the cup. And there was another team in there, but it's like we shouldn't be where we are in the table. I think we're 11th or 12th right now. Yeah, we shouldn't really be there. I think the amount of chances we've created in each game, we've actually deserved a bit higher up the table. I don't really tell the story, but the same old story of Chelsea the last 2 seasons. We just can't put the ball in the net. We just can't. We haven't got a clinical number 9. Obviously, Spurs at the minute, Tottenham, they've got Son, you've got up front, banging in goals for you right now. And we've got Nicholas Jackson, so that's the levels. It's a big drop-off when you say that, Son to Jackson. I mean, look, we've had a couple good signings. I mean, Cole Palmer's came in and he's been nothing but phenomenal for us. If we didn't have him, then God knows where it would be. Obviously, the Nkunku injury hurt us. He got injured in pre-season, so that probably killed us. When Nkunku was playing in pre-season, yes, people can say it's just pre-season, but we did win all of our games and we looked like a proper threat of Nkunku in there because we actually had someone in the box that can finish. And now we don't have that, and we just look very inconsistent, There's just a few players that are just not stepping up. I think Enzo, I mean, look, I've backed this guy, but we've paid £150 million for him, and he's just not, Conor Gallagher's playing better than him this season. And that's just the harsh truth. And I'm not a big fan of Gallagher, but it just is what it is. Caicedo's been doing his thing in there, doing all right. The defence, we're doing good, We weren't conceding too many goals. But then we go bottle that game against Arsenal, which was a disgrace. I mean,
you were up 2-0. I was watching that match. I was like, hey, come on. I wanted to see y'all hand them the first loss. It would have been great to see.
Well, I was at the game, and obviously we're 2-0 up, like 14 minutes to go, we're bouncing. And, if we go win that game, we probably go on a winning spree, because the fans will be, happy, like easy fans are to just impress and stuff. You go beat Arsenal and it's like we're on top of the world. We probably go on to win some of these tough fixtures coming up. But now we've bottled that game, we were just deflated. It was just almost a loss to us, to concede 2 that late.
Yeah, that hurts. And I still would take away from that the sense that you can put these big clubs to the fire. You can compete with them. That you can run. A draw is still, I think if you would take everything away from it, the fact that you were up 2-0 at one point, if you take that away from it, and maybe 2 weeks before you ask Chelsea fans, hey, would you take a draw versus Arsenal there?
Oh yeah, you'd say
I would feel like a healthy, a girthy amount of people will probably say, I'll take the draw versus.
We were all going into it thinking we're going to get slapped. That's how a lot of our fans' mentality was. Because Arsenal were just, they've built a decent team and we're just so inconsistent. We've got a load of youngsters in the team, which obviously doesn't help because we're in a situation where we're struggling a lot as well against low block teams. If you sit back against Chelsea and just play on the break, it's basically 3 points. It really is that easy. I mean, if a team comes at us, like obviously Tottenham, the way you're playing rock and roll football with Postecoglou and that, it's definitely going to be a toe-to-toe game. And I think because Poch also plays attacking, so there's going to be a lot of goals. I can see a lot of goals.
I can see it being an end-to-end affair. Whether there's a lot of goals, I think you talked a little bit about the fact that you haven't been clinical with your finishes. And there was a channel I was listening to, I think it was Egal, and people were saying, someone had said that Tottenham has been clinical this season. And I thought that was kind of funny, because if we had been clinical, Son would have way more assists as the left winger. We would have beaten Luton Town 4-5-0, Fulham, same thing, Palace, same thing, if we had been clinical. I don't think we've been clinical. I think we've been resilient. And that there's a difference, in my opinion. So I don't necessarily. I think there's some Spurs fans that say, "Oh, look at where Chelsea are in the table. Look at where Tottenham are. We're going to go out there and smash them." I don't think that's going to be the case personally, because I feel like, first of all, having that expectation going into any Premier League match, whether it be Chelsea or anybody, like, you have to give them a certain level of respect. And for me personally, I've never felt like we're just going to go out there and smash them. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of goals. It depends. Do we have our shooting boots on? Do y'all have your shooting boots on? History has showed thus far in these 10 matches in the Premier League, we're going to give you chances with the ball in dangerous areas. It's will you finish it?
Exactly,
We have shown that we will get into dangerous areas and have players with the ball at their feet in dangerous spots, but will they finish it is the question. And I think that's all that's going to really matter is on the day, who's got their shooting boots and who's got their dancing boots. That's just my opinion, like from a light perspective. I hope there's a lot of goals. I think it's going to be entertaining, but I want to ask you a little bit, because I've heard a lot of Chelsea fans saying that, oh, if you sit back, you're automatically going to win because we can't figure out a way to break you down. Whereas if you play a little bit at us, we can come at you, and it'll be more of a chance for us to counterattack and get some goals. Tottenham are not the kind of, at least what Ange has said thus far, is we're not going to change how we play for anybody. So you can kind of almost assume how we're going to play towards you. Do you think that that bodes well in your favor as far as getting a result away from home? Or do you think that it's just going to be kind of like what I was saying, a matter of who gets the more goals?
Well, no, for sure. I think if you're Pochettino, Postecoglou's quite, as you said, he don't like to change the way he plays. He plays how he plays, and that's it. It's simple. He doesn't change for no one. And, you've got to respect that, because he obviously believes in his philosophy that he can go to any team and beat them, because he goes in the matter with, we're going to score more goals than them, But if you're Poch, for sure, you've got to sit there and think, the way he's going to play. So you've got to be looking at it like you've got to stop the Maddisons getting on the ball. Because for me, you get Maddison on the ball, and that's where Tottenham come to life. I think if you can stop him feeding the ball to Son, we could cause you issues. Like you said, like, form goes out the window in a derby. We all know this. No one thought when we went to Arsenal we'd be 2-0 up with 14 minutes to go. No one really thought that. Everyone thought Arsenal were going to come spank us like they've been doing the last couple seasons. So, as you said, we have proved we can score goals and put big teams to the sword. But listen, at the end of the day, right, Tottenham fans who are going into this saying it's just going to be a walkover and that, for me, that's very it's a very deluded sort of statement for me. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, you're in very good form, yeah, and I'm not going to deny that. Tottenham are playing fabulous football at the minute, but you only beat us last season, and if you look at the record before then, Tottenham couldn't beat us even at your ground.
Yeah,
so. Yeah. I don't think you lot should be going in it too overconfident, like you said. I think you're definitely a force to be reckoned with this season, but it's still early on in the season. There's a lot of games to be played. There's a lot of games to be played.
I agree. And I said this on the channel. Now, for anybody who's been here, they're going to say, oh, I've heard him say this. But I felt like when you look at Postecoglou specifically, when he first came into the Premier League, it's kind of like we have an idea of how he's going to set up, but we don't really have the evidence to back up our theories, right? Now it's been 10 matches in. I said 5 to 10 matches, I think you're going to start to see tendencies, see how we want to operate things with the ball, off the ball, in a lot of different scenarios. I think that's going to be the case. That's just a natural of any sport. The more game footage you have, the more you have for someone's propensities of what they're going to do in certain situations. So I think that's going to bode better. And I think that's why you started to see Fulham. We weren't able to really dominate them on the scoreboard, but we were in the match. And then Crystal Palace is a little bit of that. You know, they could have won it, we could have won it type of thing. But at the end of the day, we did. And you can see the holes in Tottenham. We are still a new side. I think the table, if you look at it and you take that away, you could misconstrue your idea of where we are at. And I love to do it. I love to say, hey, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about who gets the 3 points, at the this, that, and the other. But when I really try and take my Tottenham hat off and I look at it, like, Tottenham Hotspur haven't hit their full stride. Chelsea haven't hit their full stride. Both of them may use this as a chance to elevate themselves into doing that. But for this juncture, I still think you're not going to see the best version of Pochettino's Chelsea. You're not going to see the best version of Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham.
Yeah, of course. Still early for both managers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're both, what, like 4 months in?
Yeah, exactly. Like, nothing. And this is what's scary about Postecoglou, you know. He's came in and he's done this all so quick. Quite similar to, you know, how Tuchel came in at Chelsea. And he just had us rolling very quickly, you know. So it's scary, you know, this early of Postecoglou at Tottenham. It could do great things, but also there is another side of the coin, you know. It could end up not what you thought, you know. It does happen, you know. Yeah, you've had a great start, but he needs to prove he can do this all season long and keep up the way you're playing. And Tottenham haven't, forgive me if I'm wrong, you haven't had too many major injuries to big players yet, Postecoglou, have you?
It depends on your opinion of big, because Perisic did his ACL, then his backup Solomon did his ACL. And then Brennan Johnson against Arsenal, he hurt himself.
Well, I'm saying, like, say, like, Basuma or a Son got injured, let's say, or even a Maddison, they got injured for, let's say, I don't know, 10 games. Do you think Postecoglou could keep up the way you're playing and you can keep getting results? Or do you think if one of them key players are out, you could fumble?
Well, this is one of those things that it's a great question. This is one of those things that I've said as my personal standpoint. What I want to see is from the changing of the tide with Postecoglou and what we're doing. I just want to see how we deal with certain situations. And those questions can only be answered with the gravy on the taters, so to speak. The only way you know what the dish tastes like is to taste it. And we saw a glimpse of that. Basuma got the red card versus Luton. He had to miss a match. And Højbjerg came in and we still got the job done. Yeah. Was it as flashy and glamorous? No. But the guy came in and did a job. But one of the things that worries me immensely about Tottenham and the longevity of this season is our depth. An injury to Son, we look a lot different. An injury to Maddison, we look a lot different. An injury, I used to say Basuma, but I guess Højbjerg can come in and do enough to help us get the win. Yeah. But let me keep adding to the list. Vicario, our goalkeeper, Van de Veen, Romero, Udogie, Ben Davies started and he was awful, got subbed at halftime. Emerson Royale comes in as a right back to our left. We don't have a backup left back that can play. Yeah. Ben Davies cannot play. He doesn't have the pace to play the system that was on full display versus Palace. So those are several positions. I guess, you know, you could say even Papa Matisar. I don't know what Bentancur really looks like in a Postecoglou system. But what I do know is one of those questions were answered in the likes of Basuma. We did slightly answer that question in regards to how will we look without a Basuma. Well, we got to see what that would look like. Now that we have Bentancur coming back on the bench and we know what we may look like. Maybe he could fill in for Maddison. I don't know. Maybe he can be that creative box-to-box end that we.
Great spark. Yeah,
he was our best midfielder under a very uncreative side. He was our most creative side. And when he got injured, literally our whole season. When Conte left, we were still 4th place, and we finished 8th because of Ryan Mason and Stellini. So like we weren't as bad as I think we feel because it was such a shit season for Tottenham Hotspur fans. But like. The injuries do concern me. Like we do have some, but not like an Nkunku where you could say, oh, that guy comes in and he's going to do bits and do this and X, Y, and Z. Nkunku, I know for a fact, I watch a Bundesliga. He's not one of those guys you got to be far in the scouting report to find and know he's a quality player. He's a quality player. He's if he didn't get injured and he did something with y'all, like I think he could take that step into being a world-class baller if he can prove it at the biggest league in the world, in my opinion. So I think in the beginning of the season, I predicted Chelsea to be in and around top 5, top 6.
Really?
Yeah, I did, because I think the amount of talent that y'all brought in with a guy who works well with young talent and can really he's a player's manager, Pochettino. He's a guy who's like, I'm not one of these guys, I'm one of y'all, and I'm here for y'all. And it's like this,
Yeah, he's gonna put his arm around some players, do you know what I mean, and make that sort of, that's what he's tried to do. He's tried to make some sort of like family environment at Chelsea and all together and all that, but I just don't know, man. You know, I know obviously you lot know more about Pochettino than me, but with Chelsea, obviously we've gone down this new route of getting these project managers. You know, we went for the Potter, now it's Pochettino. The Potter one didn't work at all. He got sacked. He didn't even get time to build a squad of nothing. Already gone. And I don't think it's actually too long, Jacob. I'll be real, until they pull the gun out and they shoot Pochettino, man. I can honestly, if he doesn't get top 4 football this season, I think he's gone.
You don't think that they'll allow him a little bit of wiggle room? Like, I know the fan base as of late is very like instant gratification. Give me the success. I would assume, I don't want to assume your age or necessarily want you to like out your age, but in your lifetime, it is get a manager in, you win, or you're gone. And am I safe in assuming that for your life, that has how you've operated?
Put it this way, anyway, Abramovich came in the year I was born, so all I've seen is win. Like every
So your expectations are probably I get that, but I think that you've shown, at least with what happened last year, that maybe the times are changing where you can't just throw money at a problem like Roman Abramovich could in 15 years ago, where you could just buy the best players and make them work. Go ahead.
But this is thing where you say, you know, Abramovich threw money at, right? But Abramovich was buying ready-made players, you know? Yeah, he was putting big price tags on them, but the players are coming in now instantly making an impact on the squad, you know? Whereas now we're splashing 80 million on players like Mudryk, who have had one season in the Ukrainian league, and you expect them to come in and all of a sudden just be well beaters straight away. You know? We need to start having it 50-50 and bringing in some ready-made players. And it's all right to have a few youngsters around the team. Like, you've seen Cole Palmer. You know, some people at young ages, they're good enough to play at big clubs. You see, Cole Palmer's came in and he's probably been our best attacker.
He has been. When I look at y'all from a rival standpoint, I would say, who from that squad could get into ours right now? I think that's, something that content creators certainly love doing, combined 11s, etc.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, first on the list of Chelsea people I'm plucking away from you.
It was his quality. It's just everything
from the City Academy. I thought even with City, the times that he got a chance, he looked great. And then something else that I saw from Palmer, and I want to ask your opinion on this. There was a penalty. I can't remember the game, but there was a penalty for y'all. And Raheem Sterling's like, here I go. Well, he had his dinner tray ready. He was ready. Scoop it on there, lunch lady. Give me some more. And Cole Palmer said, give me that ball, fool. This is my team. And he really...
that age showing that, it's big signs. And it's the thing. Every week, I'm actually excited to see this guy play for my club. It's been a while since I've actually enjoyed a player at Chelsea where it actually excites me when they got on the ball. He just uses quality. He takes on his man. He had people eating grass most times. You know what I'm saying? He can turn a man and they're on the floor. He's been robbed for assists. Robbed. He's put people in one-on-one, week in, week out, and they just don't finish. If them goals go in, people are looking in like Palmer's got like 6 assists. Look at what he's playing for Chelsea, and because Chelsea ain't the best right now, you shouldn't deny how good some players are on our team. It's just they've all been signed and they haven't really had time to gel. No one's gelling. It's just.
But that's what Pochettino can do. You got to allow him the time to get that locker room gelled and meshed together, because there's a lot of talent. It's undeniable. There's a lot of talent there. It's just a matter of getting everyone to read from the same hymn sheet. And I think Pochettino is the guy who can get you to do that. Now, will he be the guy to take you on to where you want y'all to be? Maybe, maybe not. That he didn't do it with us. He didn't do it with PSG. So maybe not. I don't want to say what a man can or can't do with his career. But what I will say is this much, that he is the guy, I know this, where he can get the fans, the locker room, everyone fucking jumping. And that's what I think y'all need. Like, I feel like there was a little bit, I had this conversation on this channel yesterday. Someone said, I can't wait to see the downfall of Chelsea. And I said, I think that we are seeing it, and this is the start of them getting out of it. Like, whether it happens this week, next week, or 3 weeks from now, I think that we've seen the worst in last season of what to me, if you stick with it. Now, if you fire Pochettino, I don't know. I can't speak on what Chelsea may look, but from my perspective, it looks. I feel confident enough in what Pochettino showed me that he is the kind of guy that could get these talented players reading from the same hymn sheet, eating from the same dinner plate, and then really fighting for each other. Ange Postecoglou's come in and done it, and everyone said the vibe ain't been like this since who? Pochettino. So he is a guy who can make the vibes immaculate like we're enjoying. I think also table at this juncture is not necessarily reflective of overall or future success for a squad, because if you look at Manchester United, they're in shambles and they're above you, and
exactly.
They're trending down, you're trending up. It's just a matter of time until the table reflects that, I think. And it's an easy situation. But real quick, I did drop the link for H's channel. I see he's 5 away from 200 subs, so if there's 5 of y'all that respect me, know that I would tell you, just go over there, subscribe. He's good with the banter. He's a good guy as well, so just subscribe, even if you don't.
Man. I can take it as well as give it. It's football, do you know what I mean? I'm used to it, man.
And listen, nothing will make you more upset than your own club. I'll put it that way.
Well, Jacob, the problem is, right, funny enough, half my family are actually Tottenham and the other side of Chelsea. So it's very, when it comes to the football, you know, so I can take the banter, do you know what I mean? It's all a laugh, man.
Big up. It is all love. Big ups to everybody who is in the house already. There's over 50 of y'all tapping in right now. So hit that like whether you're here for a long time, short time, or a good time. Got a question that rolled in from Ellie, and I started. It says, who would you buy H for Chelsea in January and why? Do you think y'all are going to go all out? Like, where are you kind of at with Chelsea in January?
We have to spend more money. You know, I know people will look at it and laugh. Like, we spent like £1 billion, and yeah, it's crazy. But if you look, we've totally revamped our whole squad. Look how many players we sold last summer, you know. I think we sold like 13, maybe more players. You know, it's nuts. To answer your question, who would I buy? For me, we desperately need a killer up front in the middle. For me, it's Victor Osimhen. You've got to go get him. You know, he's had obviously this. I'm not going to go into it, obviously, because the politics side of it and all what happened with him and Napoli and whatever. But
the TikTok videos. Yeah. We know there's tension. There's some friction between him and the club. Yes.
So if you go listen, the rumors coming out from journos and that they're saying that he's top of our list for strikers. He's at a great age. He's 25 years old. Get him in, and you've got a top-class striker for the next 4 or 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
There's talks about Tony. For me, I would stay clear. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a very good player. But do I think he's going to get you to levels where you want to bring Chelsea back to? I don't think so. So for me, we definitely need a striker. We need another winger because Madueke, Poch isn't favouring him at all. Obviously, he got rid of him at Tottenham, you know? So
yeah, he didn't want him at Tottenham. Honestly, I like Madueke, but it's kind of strange what's going on over there. I think that's just one of those things. You got a lot of horses and only so many races you can run. You know, there's only I don't know how many fucking horses they put on the track, but you know what they're saying. You understand what I'm saying. Big up, Ellie. Thank you for the question. Big up, everybody in the chat. I will make sure if you do have a question, I know Ellie meant Q, not a W. They're right next to each other on a keyboard, so very easy to smush one in the other. But if you have a question, hit a Q. I'll start and we'll bring it up at some juncture. So just do the way that Ellie did. It's a free way. You don't have to super chat. You can if you want to, and we'll get to it straight away. But if you do that, I'll see it, I'll start, and I'll bring it up at some point. Big up Side Dancer as well. Big up everybody in the house. Ridwan's good to see you, Ridwan. Good to see you in the house as well. Everyone here tapping in. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We got a question from Rowan Kumar. Says, question to the Chelsea fan. His name is H. H Talks Chelsea. That's his football channel. You can go find him. Says, why is your strategy to get these more unproven players? Why don't go for the big guns?
This is what we just spoke about, you know. I don't understand it. I think, you look, we spent £1 billion, and I was thinking this, right? £1 billion, you think the players you could get with that? It's, you know, I know Kane probably wouldn't have come to Chelsea, but let's say, you know, you would have been able to get a Kane with that much money, yeah? If you really threw the bag at it, who knows, yeah? You could have had a Kane.
If you would have told Daniel Levy here's $200 million, I think he would say, "I don't give a shit. Thank you." 1 year left on his contract, 200. Get him out the door.
Money like we normally do. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. But this is what I'm saying. When you name off the players you could get, you could have gone Osimhen. You could even went and got a Musiala. You know, if we're signing youngsters, I want to get the best of youngsters. You know, if we're getting youngsters who are the Musialas, you know, I know Vinny Jr. wouldn't come to Chelsea, but let's just put his name on the list. The big youngsters. When you're signing them youngsters, it's not a problem, you know? But when you're signing these youngsters that no one's heard of for like 70, 80 million, and, you know, as Rohan says, you know, go sign the big guns. Get an Osimhen in, get experience in, get a De Jong from Barcelona, someone like that. You could have had a whole spine of experienced players that everyone knows are real dons, you know?
Yeah. Here again is the link. One more time, I am going to put it in there. I would love to see his channel get over 200 just from y'all supporting a good, because look, I wouldn't put him on this platform. I wouldn't bring him up here on this channel if I didn't think first and foremost that he's a good motherfucker. So I think he's a good dude. I think he's a cool dude. He just, hey, I can't blame your parents for forcing you into a wrong decision, man. Just like I can't blame anyone who choose. Yeah, hey, it is what it is. But go ahead and subscribe. Big up Patty Hartnett as well. Says exactly what we're saying. Form goes out the window with games like these. I think it's going to be a very close game on Monday. Look, I do want to ask you. I want to hear a starting 11 from Chelsea that you think is going to be, but we'll break it down since I don't have like I could pull up a visual representation. I feel like it would take more time than we really have or would want to spend on it. But let me just start. Who's going to be in goal for Chelsea? Is it Sanchez, the guy that everyone was dogging on midweek, or what?
It's going to be Sanchez. We haven't even seen the Petrovic guy yet. I'm surprised we didn't see him in the cup. But obviously, we're going to strength in that cup. We want to win it. So he played Sanchez. So Sanchez will start. It will be a 4-3-3, I'm guessing. Centre-backs is probably going to be Silva. And I'm hoping it's Badashile. He did play in the cup, and obviously he got a goal as well.
Got the goal, yeah, he got the goal.
Back. And, you know, people who watch my channel will know I highly rate this guy. I think he's our best centre-back other than Silva. Do you know what? I'd play him. I'd play Silva and Badashile. It might be Colwill. Hopefully it's Badashile. Left back, it'll be Cucurella, who's been in decent form. You know, he's been playing well this season. You can't doubt him. People, you know, even me.
I said last season, didn't I say on your channel or someone? I remember I was with some Chelsea folks, and I said I like I'll take him. Y'all ain't using him right. He ain't being used right. I like the player just because he had one bad season with Chelsea. I was like, watch, he could come in and be their best fullback for them. I rated him at Brighton. If you can get Brighton Cucurella, just like I wanted to get Brighton Basuma. The first year I had him, I didn't have Brighton Basuma. I had whatever that was. But now I got Brighton Basuma and better. I'm seeing a better version of Basuma than he was at Brighton in the first 10 matches. But anyway.
This is it. We paid like 60 million for this guy. And when we see him at Brighton, you know, everyone was like, well, this guy looks quality. I don't mind paying 60 million for him. But then he came in. I just don't know what it was. Maybe it was because of the change of managers. He couldn't settle properly. And as you said at the beginning of the stream, like you said, Pochettino is the guy to sort of get his arm around people and, you know, say, I'm going to back you this out, I'm going to play you. He was actually close to going to Man United on loan. And then literally the day after, I remember going to the game against, who was it? Wimbledon in the cup. And everyone was thinking he's going to United, you know. And then all of a sudden, Poch throws him in the starting lineups. And everyone was like, oh, hold on a minute, what's going on here, sort of thing. And ever since then, he's been great for us. So, yeah, man, I'm happy with him. I wanted him sold, to be fair. I'll be real. I wanted him sold because my eyes couldn't deny what I was seeing. He was one of our worst players and he was getting spun left, right and centre. But I don't know what's happened to him, but I'm all for it and I'm going to back him now. He's playing well for us. But yeah, it'll be him at left back. I want to see Gusto at right back. I think he's been quality for us. I know Reece James.
I thought he was injured. I thought I heard Gusto was on a boot or he had ice on his knee or something like that.
Yeah, he had a little bandage around his knee, but it's come out that he's all right. So he may play Reece. Obviously, Reece James is the captain, so he may start him. We've been rolling with Gallagher as the captain while Reece James has been out. But Reece, when he's been playing, coming on, getting his minutes, he hasn't looked too sharp. So I would like to see a Gusto start there. You're going to see a midfield of the classic, what we've been playing all season. Casado as the deep lying one. Enzo and Gallagher. And in the front three, I think he's actually going to go back to what he had at Arsenal. I think it's going to be Sterling, Mudryk, Palmer, sort of rotating like I did against Arsenal because I don't think he's going to trust Jackson for this game. I really don't. After how he's been performing the last couple of games, there's no way you throw him into a game.
So is that Sterling through the middle?
Sterling sort of slash Mudryk through the middle. They sort of interchange, you know.
Okay.
Throughout the game, that's how they played against Arsenal. And then you sort of got Palmer drifting off the right, coming behind them, you know, sort of slotting in that cam sometimes.
That Mudryk goal, you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that was a great finish. Yeah, it was a great finish, man. I mean, he saw the keeper off the line, and boy,
is that? Do you really think that's what he meant? You think he meant to do that?
No, I'm joking with that. Nah. Jokes aside, he looked up for Enzo, man, and he says, I don't know how that went in, but I ain't complaining, man.
There's a player I do want to talk about. Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner, came in for a very high price tag as well. I think often people forget when they look at Mudryk, like, well, this guy costs a lot. Well, so did Enzo Fernandez.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel? Like, again, let's not look at last season. Let's look at Enzo Fernandez under Mauricio Pochettino. How do you like him as a player, and what are you seeing from him so far? Because I think he's absolutely quality.
Yeah.
I would have loved him at Spurs, but not for 100-some mil. That was my perspective.
Well, look, my thing with Enzo is, yeah, everyone knows there is quality in the player. Look, some of our fans are 100% writing him off like he's just shit. I don't believe that. He's a good player. We've seen it in the World Cup. Yes, it was just one World Cup, but they did win that World Cup, and he was putting out 10 out of 10 performances most games. And last season, he was quality, but this season, he's had a bit of a drop-off. I don't know why. It's really weird because he's starting games. He's got Caicedo next to him, you know? I just don't understand why it's not working. Is it because he's thrown Gallagher in and he's not enjoying Gallagher next to him, or isn't the right three? The thing is, he's getting in, like, he had a great game against Blackburn. That's Blackburn. We all know that, right? He was phenomenal against Blackburn, you know? And it's just, people say, yeah, it's just Blackburn, but it's good to see him put in a positive performance because we haven't seen it at all this season. So I'm hoping he can build off that now and go put in a good performance against Tottenham, because in the first game of the season against Liverpool, you know, a massive game like that, he was quality. He ran the game from minute 1 to 90, dominated Liverpool, you know? And if he plays like that against Tottenham, he can win the game for us. When your midfield dominates like that, if you've got Caicedo playing how he's been playing this season, and you get that out of Enzo like he did against Liverpool, you know, that's a proper pivot in there. I want to see more of it. Look, I'm not happy with him this season, but I believe he's going to turn it around. I do. His shooting has been questionable. That's one thing, even from last season, people are not happy about. You know, you spend 115 mil on a midfielder, and, you know, you should expect goals out of him. You know, you should, for that much money. And he's not giving us that. But is it partly as well because, you know, you look at the attack up front, like we said, we haven't got a clinical striker. Who's he really got to feed to? He's going to go get him assists. You know, he hasn't really... If you have an Osimhen or you have a fast striker up front who's clinical and then making the runs over the top, we know Enzo can hit that ball long, and that could change the game for him. Because obviously we know he's not the fastest. He likes to take a couple touches and ping it over the top, switch it to the wing, you know?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Look, Drunk Vigo, big up Drunk Vigo, says Caicedo is a flop. That's another player I did want to ask. I do agree. It's 10 matches is too early to say a player's world class. As much as I love to boast Christian Romero, you don't just become world class in 10 matches, right? You become world class over a body of work, I think. And Caicedo has proven that he's got some good skills, but I think the expectations are pretty high given the amount of, let's say, coverage surrounding the signing of Caicedo.
You got to remember, he's come in and he's with a team of youngsters around him, and it's a new environment. You know what I mean? A player can't just all of a sudden adapt within 10 games and look world class, you know? I even think it's that mad. I even think if a Jude Bellingham came into Chelsea right now, you wouldn't see the best of him, because as mad as Ace is saying, he's looking like one of the best players in the world right now in form. The way Chelsea are right now, the amount of youngsters, it's like when we concede a goal, everyone's heads drop. So you're only as good as your teammates. You know, if your teammates' heads are down, what do you exactly want them to do, you know? If everyone's just collapsing, Caicedo can't just win the game for us. Do you know what I mean? He's been okay for us. He's been decent. He hasn't really... Okay, the West Ham game, his debut was a shocker. Don't get me wrong. He gave away the penalty, obviously. He was losing the ball. But that's a debut. You know what I mean? It can happen to the best of players. But ever since then, he's been fine, man. You know, I don't agree with the criticism on Caicedo so far. I think he's been decent for us, man. I just think it's more the Enzo the finger should be pointed at. You know.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Look, Roman comes in here with saying Tottenham and Ange have been wanting Gallagher for a while, according to the ITKs. Do you want him, Jacob? Rowan, what I will say is I think he is an upgrade from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I don't know that Gallagher comes in here and starts over Papa Matisar. There were some quotes yesterday around Papa Matisar from Ange Postecoglou where they said, where do you see Sarr? As a 6, an 8, a 10? He's like, the great part is he can do all three.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I keep seeing him playing sort of anywhere. He just floats about.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah, you know what, I've seen some of your fans say he isn't all that and this, but from what I've seen, he's done a job, you know?
He's done good enough in these first 10 matches, in my humble opinion, that I believe that Bentancur, our best midfielder last season, doesn't automatically get the start over him because of how good he's been.
And that's what you want. Yeah,
That's a luxury now. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
ease him back into it. So do I want Gallagher? Of course. I think he's a great player. He's got an engine. When I was watching y'all play the other day, it was just like, here's a normal shot, right, of just kind of playing it out of the back. And here comes fucking Gallagher out of nowhere, just chopping, running like he's Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? Like, I like the engine.
You're Gallagher. You're 100% going to get 100%. He's going to be running around his socks off, fighting. He will literally die for the badge. But the thing is with Gallagher, it's his end quality, his passing, his shooting isn't too clean. But if you want someone who's going to be that sort of, as you said, that engine in the midfield, just to add to a quality midfield and run around, win the ball back, then he's quality for that, If that's what you're missing in the midfield and you want someone who's going to press people non-stop, win the ball back and just lay it off, then he's perfect for that. And he's doing a job for Poch at the minute. We know Poch loves that style of football. He likes to have that person who's, pressing constantly, ferocious, that sort of thing. So, and he's gave him the armband since Reece James been out. So that proves how much Poch rates the guy, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the proof is always in the gravy once you put it on the mashed potatoes. But big up Spurs GCTV as well. Says everybody watching needs to smash the likes, especially if you think it's another 3 points from Chelsea. And even if you are Chelsea and you think it's 3 points or 1 point for y'all, go ahead and hit that like. It's absolutely free, costs you nothing, and it helps the channel out. Got a question here I want to go back to from Rowan. Says, this is for you, H. Who would you want striker-wise in January? Would you rather Ivan? Let's say price is irrelevant. How long it takes you to get them in January, irrelevant. Let's say it's the same for both. Let's just the price tag, how long it would take you to get them in. As a player, who would you who do you think Chelsea would go for out of the two, and then B, who would you prefer out of the two?
Well, it's already been said, Chelsea's top striker target is apparently Victor Osimhen, and people know what my channel, I have been propping for this guy since not even the last summer, the summer transfer window before that. I wanted this guy ASAP. As soon as I started watching Napoli, this guy, man, he had one season where he sort of had to, sort of gel into the squad, and that he picked up the odd goal. And you could just see he's got everything, he's got the structure, he's massive, and he's also lightning quick, His heading ability is ridiculous. This guy can spring, he can jump high, and that's what we've been missing. That's why I think Osimhen will definitely be better for us in the way that if you look at Chelsea right now, the amount of crosses that go in the box and no one attacks it. Sterling's not jumping for the ball.
Yeah.
You've got Mudryk just like that, just hiding.
And they're not bad crosses. They're whipped in pretty nice when I see them from both left and right.
This is what I'm saying. Osimhen, if you watch him for Napoli with that Custavella, that other winger, he's linking up well with.
Oh, yeah.
He puts in a lofted ball and he's just attacking them. And the amount of passes Palmer could play in like that,
That's a good point. I think he is one of those guys that will be so. If y'all got Victor Osimhen, honestly, I'd be very pissed. I think he's a complete striker. He is a complete striker. He can do it all. All of the things you need a striker to do, he can do. His vertical. I want to know what his vertical is. Just jump, because last year, I swear I've seen him towering over large defenders, and he's head and shoulder above them.
He doesn't even need a run. He just stands there and he's just
boing. He's got the bunnies. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's like I rate him very highly, and if y'all got him, you could be dangerous. I even said that I think in y'all's system, if you had a Vlahovic, that he's similar enough to a Harry Kane, a young Harry Kane, that he could have worked for a Pochettino system. That I really think y'all kind of. I know the people are saying, look, the striker market's kind of washed up this January. It's not a lot to pick from, but I would say, look, you could probably lure Vlahovic away from Juventus. Juventus need the money. Oh, yeah. You could definitely lure, like we alluded to, you could definitely lure Osimhen, and Ivan Toney. He's already said fuck Brentford on camera. So
yeah, that's mad. We could have got Vlahovic. We could have. We actually nearly had the deal wrapped up for him in the summer. They wanted Lukaku in a swap deal, but they also wanted on top 34 million from us. So when they said they also wanted that 34 mil, we were just sort of like, nah, you know what I mean? We walked away from it, but we could have easily got him in the summer. And you're right, I think he is a decent player, another player at a decent age. I think he's 23, 24, if I'm right, Vlahovic. Got the structure, pace and power, got a great left foot. I wouldn't be against him coming in. Do you know what I'm saying? I've always said him or Osimhen, I'd be happy. Do you know what I mean? Osimhen is my number one. But, I just want someone who's going to, at the end of the day, score us goals, man. That's all I want. If you could come to Chelsea and you can score me 15-plus goals a season, I'm happy because we've been starved up front. We really have.
That's a great. I got another question here. Appreciate it. Big up Rowan. That was a great question. Elvis G says, question for H. What would you consider good progress for Chelsea this season?
Probably getting top 6, getting to Europa. If we win the Carabao Cup, I know it's not the best of cups.
But it's looking like it's open for whoever want to grab it.
Good step in the right direction. If you win that, the fans are sort of thinking, well, we have won something this season. It changes the mentality of the players because obviously they're young. Most of them haven't won anything. Even if you get that little cup, it does something, And I think it does guarantee Europe spots. I don't know if it's Conference League or what, but it does guarantee some sort of Europe place.
Carabao Cup gets you Conference, I believe, and FA gets you Europa.
See, look, it's Conference League, but we're not even in Conference League this season. So if you're talking about steps in the right direction, it's something.
Yeah.
It sounds bad as a Chelsea fan because our standards they just dropped, but we've got to be realistic at the same time. We can't sit here and say we've got to be getting top 4 because if you look at our squad and the way we're playing, it just looks impossible for us to get top 4 this season. It really does, especially without a top quality striker who's going to score you goals, man.
Yeah. Look, I mean, in January, you may very well be having some help coming your way. Big up Elvis for that question. Got another question here from Milton. Giving away some. We're still going to do some previews this weekend, so I don't want to give away too much for me. But H, while we got you here, I do want to get your prediction. Says, what are your score predictions, your goal scores, and your BDE? We're going to go for about another 10 minutes here on the channel. So if you're in the chat, feel free to get your predictions in, and we'll look at them. I see another question from Rowan. I've got that starred. The special one says, Ivan Toney will go to Arsenal. That could very well be the case. I think it's almost damn near signed, sealed, delivered. Shout out Aretha. I think it was Aretha. But yeah, let me see. Where'd that question go? There it is from Milton. So H, let me ask you. You've given us your starting lineup. You've given us what you think to be your strongest start, or your realistic 11. Where do you see Chelsea winning this game, and how do you see the final result going for y'all in a realistic sense? Like, well, I know for me, I always say this, that I'm a mixture, I'm a yin and a yang of emotions and passion, and then the other half is logic and reason and reality, right?
Sometimes the passion can get the better side of you and you sort of go wild, but that's football, man. But look, it's definitely going to be a tight game. We all know that. I don't think it's going to be no battering. People think Tottenham are going to batter us. I don't think they will. I think it's going to be very edgy. Obviously the Tottenham fans are going to be a big factor into this at home. You're bouncing at the minute, so that's definitely you're going to be like the 12th man for you lot. But I can see this. Look, if we concede the first goal, at Tottenham, with your fans getting behind them, it could be uncomfortable. It really could. That's when it could go bad for us. But it's a derby, man. We see it against Arsenal. We put up a performance. I really think there's going to be goals. And listen, for my score prediction, I'm going a 2-2. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. For who the goal scorers are going to be, I think Cole Palmer will score for us. And I'm going with a Thiago Silva header from a corner. He hasn't scored in a while. Thiago Silva, he has scored no goal against Tottenham before. Remember when he had his hair dyed blonde? I think that was with Tuchel, if I'm right.
Yeah, he did. He has scored against us. On a set piece corner.
And with Tottenham, look, I think Son's going to get on the score sheet 100%. I'm going Son with 1 goal. And is Kulusevski fit? Because if he is, I think he'll get a goal against us.
He is fit, but he hasn't been really getting the goals and assists this season that some people. He's been coming under some fire from fans. Me too as well. I just. The expectations are high for the kid. He came in and he was great, and then he had a horrible last season. But again, last season, a lot of everybody was horrible outside of Kane and his 30 Premier League goals last year. So, I don't want to judge him too harshly on that. But still, this season, I think he's done work as a winger that has been successful for us in some facets. But it's also been... If he could just make his mind up a little bit quicker and not do the same thing over and over, I think he'd be a hell of a player. Yeah,
you can see he can take on players and beat them, man. But then sometimes you get frustrated at the final ball. But I genuinely think he's a very good player, and I think this is where he could put his stamp on things, and I think he will get a goal. I think him and Son for me is just nailed on. I think he's getting a goal 100%. I think even if we try and stop Maddison, Son will get a chance. He's going to pull it away. The form that guy's on right now, he's one of the scariest forwards you don't be coming up against right now in the Prem. It's weird because Son's almost flourished with Kane going. Do you not think? Because he's been moved to the middle.
Well, I think it's a little bit of a oversight. I think that he was actually still successful as a left winger in Ange's system. Let's not get it twisted, because in the first 3 matches he could have had, I think, 4 or 5 different assists if Richarlison was a fucking striker who could actually finish his dinner. So but as soon as he got moved into the middle, because there is no better person in our team in the box with a ball at their feet who can finish the best. It's Heung-min Son, Heung-min Dad. That's of course the answer. So when Kane left, obviously that left a big hole in our goal scoring. We got people who can score goals, but who's the best at scoring goals in our squad? That's Heung-min Son. So moving him to the middle was a natural progression, I think, because Richarlison was just not effective through the middle for the first 3 matches, and we needed something different. And as soon as it happened, boom, hat trick. So it's just it is one of those things. I think some people say, oh, he disappears during low blocks, and oh, he does this and that. And honestly, they say he disappears versus low blocks, but then he scores against them and we win. So I don't know that he disappears. Maybe he's just not effervescent the entire match and in your face, and everyone's like, wow, look at Son all match, because he does need service. But the way that Tottenham build up and score goals is through not individual brilliance, it's through teamwork, it's through passes, changes of plays. I mean, if you look at the second goal versus Crystal Palace, yes, we weren't great the entire match, but if you look at that goal specifically, if we can build and do that consistently, I like our chances, because it was Papa Sarr changing the place. Perfect ball out to Brennan Johnson, who literally just got on the pitch 4 minutes ago. I like
that kid. Do you know what? Yeah, when he got linked to Chelsea, Brennan Johnson, I was sort of like, no, stay away from him sort of thing. Look, he's a bit erratic in the box of his finishing, but the guy really isn't scared. He gets that ball when he drives at people, man. I like that about the kid. Fair enough to him. He's done all right at Tottenham so far, man.
I like a lot. I think he has to start for me for Tottenham. He has to start left wing, right wing. I don't give a fuck. He has to start because he is a different of what Richarlison or Kulusevski. They're going to offer you the same thing left or right. They're not gonna spread the pitch, right? They're not gonna send the back line a worry. Oh, he's gonna get in behind me. I can catch up to that motherfucker if it's Richarlison. If it's Kulusevski, I catch him. It ain't no worry to me. But if Brennan Johnson,
why has Richarlison been playing left wing for you sometimes? For me, he's just.
It's out of we don't have a choice. Like I mentioned earlier, our 2 injuries, Perisic, he was our go-to left winger after we moved Son to the middle. And then he tore his ACL. Then it was Solomon for 2 matches as our left winger with Son in the middle, and then he did his ACL, and then it was Brennan Johnson.
His ACL was Solomon.
Yeah, he did something to his knee. Wow. Yeah, he had surgery and everything. So he went out, Solomon, and then Johnson went out, and it was just like, well, I guess we'll just Richarlison's the only thing we got left.
I think he sees.
I think in an ideal 11, Ange sees Richarlison more as a guy off the bench to substitute for Son and give us a different dynamic in the front line. Right. I think that's what but look, as a left winger, he's gotten more goal contributions than all of Manchester United's front 3. Now that could be skewed a little bit just because of it is what it is, but 3 assists, 1 goal as a left winger from Richarlison. It's okay. It's not the best, but it'll do. And I think that's why he's been getting the stars, because it's just one of those, it'll do. He will do for now type of thing. Big up JC as well. Yep, we have been going for almost an hour. Going to end off very shortly. But big up JC. You wanted a Chelsea preview. I brought you one. I got a Chelsea guy right here. Go subscribe to him while you're here. It is in the description of the video. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. It is a YouTube link to H Talks Chelsea. That is his channel. Again, description is video if you're watching on playback. If you're here live, it's right there in the chat. You can click it and go subscribe. Let me see. Did y'all get him over 200? Because I asketh. We're 3 away from hitting 200. Come on, y'all. Hit that 2. Yeah, we're 3 away from hitting that 200. Hit that subscribe over there. Even if you're not a Chelsea fan, he's a good guy. But big up Ravi in the house as well. Big up Cubed in the house. Got some score predictions coming in from the chat. Spurs GCTV says 3-0 Spurs. Sonny a double and Johnson with 1. 3-0. I think you'll at least get. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet because, like I've said on a few other channels, every match that we have played in the Premier League, at least once, twice, likely on average 3 times, we allow whoever, Luton, Palace, United, anyone, we've allowed them chances. They just didn't finish.
Jacob, with your style of football, the way Postecoglou plays, he almost accepts you're probably going to concede a goal, but he knows you're going to score more. That's what I'm saying. This is why I just couldn't see a clean sheet for Tottenham. Don't get me wrong, I might be wrong. Football does humble you a lot of the time. It does. It's a weird game, but I just can't see it, man.
That's just it for me. Is like, I know we will open the door. We will allow you a seat to take what you will. It's just, will you? Can you? That will be answered on Monday. We can play hypotheticals, if buts, woulds, and shoulds, all that. But for me, I just see it as we are absolutely going to allow you the chances. At least once or twice, you're going to get the chance where someone's going to be in the box with the ball, one-on-one with our keeper. What do? You kick it straight at him, or you get the goal. And that is where the gravy will be made. Yes, I've been talking about gravy this stream. I just love me some gravy on taters. But I'm saying that for a reason, because nice. I just see the chat said you've hit 200. Big up every single one of you that helped hit those subscribe, get him over 200. He should technically be at 1K. That's just how I feel. But hey, you did take a little bit of a hiatus, but you're back with the content
I went
for
on holiday.
Chelsea.
That's the reason. I was on holiday. You know what I'm saying?
You're in Cancun. I seen them photos. You're out there in Cancun. Nice.
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice to get a break. Everyone needs it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had a bit of a break off YouTube, and now obviously, people who don't have a YouTube, obviously you know yourself, Jacob, how much time you have to put into it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it takes it out of you, man. So yeah, I went and enjoyed myself holiday, but that's why I'm back uploading now. I'm seeing 24/7 with the season starting again, man.
Yeah, good. Well, good. I'm glad that you're back making content, give the people what they want. Let's see you grow this season. And look, return fixture, you're always welcome on this channel. You're a friend of the channel, so you're always welcome here. Big up Rowan. I will be giving my predicted 11 either tomorrow or on Sunday, because look, we still got to wait the whole week until we actually do get to throw the showdown. But I will be doing a preview as well on Sunday over on H Talks. So if you want to see me on Sunday, more reason to go subscribe to H Talks Chelsea, because I'll be there. We're going to do a preview over there on his channel as well, and I'll be dropping my starting 11 over there for y'all. But big up Cursor says penalty and own goal gets us 2 goals. He says someone getting an own goal. Hey, chill out, Cursor. Nick Dundee says Spurs 3-1. Love to see it. It's a special one. Big Al says 2-1 Chelsea. Romero sent off. Look, Romero has not been. He has been the least penalized out of our back line, I believe it is.
You know what, Jacob? I think I came on your channel, and I was in the comments. It was a show. I think it was last season. I remember. What was that guy's name? Is his name the guy with the glasses, man? I'm not too sure what his name was. I forgot it. I apologise. But I was in the comments, and you were doing a show with him, and he was saying about Romero, how he's crap and this, that. And I said in the comments, this guy is a top centre-back, and he will be good for Tottenham.
Was that Perchie? Perchie was one of the people on this channel coming here talking shit about Romero. I remember that. Shout out Perchie. Shout out Perchie.
I told you, man. I said it.
Hey, look, Romero. Last year...
He's a hothead, but like Rudiger, when he was at Chelsea, he was a hothead, but he was phenomenal, man.
Even being a hothead doesn't mean you're not talented. And I think that people, rivals, have used last season to form their opinion of Romero. And I don't think that that's necessarily fair. He came here as a Serie A defender of the year. That means he can fucking defend. And people try to say he's not a defender because he goes to ground too often. I was just like, bro, he doesn't trust any. Of course you're going to go in there and just throw a grenade when you don't trust anyone to get out there as a sharpshooter. So of course it was. And look what happens. You pair him with an adequate center back and the likes, and above adequate and within the likes, Mickey Van de Ven.
Yeah, Van de Ven. I mean, we didn't even spoke on that, but what a player, man. What a player.
Big up Cursor. You're due. You were due to be here, but it's okay. We'll get you next time. I really want to see Johnson starting on Monday, says Rowan. I agree. Richarlison was much better at Everton, says Cursor. Big up. Big up JC went and subscribed. That's a Chelsea fan.
Big up, JC.
JC's a big supporter of the channel, and they're a Chelsea fan as well. Big up JC for subscribing. There's the link again. I appreciate y'all. Derek Smith says, you forgot to put in your poll. I don't care what he says. He's a Chelsea manager now, and good luck to the guy Strange. I don't care what my ex-wife thinks or says either. So big up Derek Smith. I do appreciate you doing that. Big up Elvis G for subscribing. Everyone who went and subscribed. Ian McKenna says, long time no see. You guys being serious now. Harry who? Damn boys owning it. I don't know who Harry is. You talk to me nicely either way. But big up everyone who did help him hit over 200 there. Next step is 300. Big up Cubes asking, why is Reece James always injured? Look, I do have another stream I got to go to. I do have a stream that I got to go to right now, so I am going to end the thing, and I'm not going to give my score predictions. How about that? I'm doing what I want. I'm not going to give that score predictions. Big up San Antonio Hotspur. Big up Cubed as well in the house. I do have another stream to go to, so if you want to still hang out with me and get me talking my shit on another channel, just stay here. I will redirect you on over to where I'm at. And yes, Chewy is here today. Chewy did show up for work today. Ravi says 3-2 Spurs win. Sounds like an end-to-end affair. Could be fun. Jackson on bench on Monday, from JC. H, what you saying?
Believe that. Yeah, 100%. I can't see Poch trust him in a big game like this, you know? I'll keep it simple. I know Jacob's got a bounce, but yeah, for sure, Jackson ain't starting. No chance.
Yeah, he seems to be strong. Maybe he could be an impact off the bench. Who knows? We'll see. Ben Kaufman, I want to do a stream with Jacob. Ben, just hit me up, brother. You're always so busy. I just don't know. Sometimes I hit you up and you're in Galapagos or some shit. I don't know. I just tried to think of a random island. But big up Tony D as well. Says hi, Chewy. He didn't say hi to Jacob, but he said hello to Chewy. Chewy is here. But big up Tony D. If you are watching on playback, big up yourself right now. Sorry for a shorter episode. I did have another stream to hop on to I got to bang my chest about Tottenham Hotspur. We're top of the league. So everyone's got to talk to me nicely at the end of the day. But if they don't, that's okay. Look. I had one more question starred. They're just asking about the goalkeeper. I know I said I'm going to sign off, but real quick, H. Sanchez, you like him, love him, or leave him?
I don't like him at all. I don't. Yeah, man, there's not much to say about it. He's made vital mistakes. He obviously cost us against Arsenal. His distribution's poor, and I think we need a number one. I think he's better than Kepa, but he's not who we're looking for. You know, he needs to be our number two for me.
Fair enough. Love it. Short, sweet, and beautiful. There it is. H Talks Chelsea in the description of this video. If you are watching it on playback, go see if you can help him get some more subs. I know we do got a lot of people who watch on playback and may not have been here, but we will be back tomorrow on this very channel at some point. So hit the notification bell and you'll find out when that is. But until next time, folks, H, thank you so much for joining. His channel is in the description, is in the thing. You can hit it. You can subscribe. It's a great place to go. I wouldn't tell you to do otherwise. Ending the poll. And right now, 64% says Pochettino still loves Spurs, and it's obvious. And then 15% says it's just a simple PR stunt, nothing more. 11% says he's waffling either way you feel about it. Pochettino's waffling. And then 8% says he is brown-nosing Spurs for the love. So, hey, whatever you feel, who knows? We'll find out on Monday. But be here tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you here. And until next time, I'm going to sign it off the same way I always do. But that's going to do it for episode 86 of the Untitled series here on United Spurs of America. So, as always, folks, stay blessed, first and foremost. Secondly, stay fresh. Blessed. Wait, I'm fucking it up. Let me start over. Stay fucking fresh, stay blessed, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs. And yes, long live Chelsea, old boys cursor. Much love, RIP to the GOAT. Missed that guy, but big up everybody. Stay fresh, stay blessed, up the lads, come on, you Spurs. And as always, I will sign it off. Of course.
Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.